Well, hello there, my friend. From my home to yours, all the very, very best. All the very best. And God bless you. God bless you on this Christmas Eve. May you be filled with the peace and joy of God. May you be reminded that He stepped down from His throne in heaven into the muck and mire of our world, armed with His affection, armed with His devotion to be with us. He is Emmanuel, God with us. I hope you're encouraged this holiday season. If you have a few minutes, I'd like to share with you why this season matters. Some years ago, I wrote this book. It's called Because of Bethlehem. Because of Bethlehem. It advances a simple idea, and that is because of Bethlehem, we can have hope. Christmas should be a season of hope. It certainly is a season of interruptions. Some we enjoy, some we don't. We enjoy interrupting diets for eggnog. We enjoy interrupting work for a staff party and bill paying for Christmas cards. We could do without some interruptions, like the midnight phone call from Cousin Bert saying that he and Mary Lou and their kids are going to be in the area for the holidays, and could they park their Winnebago in the driveway for about 2 to 3 weeks. Promise, no more than that. Interruptions. They come with Christmas. They come with life. Just when you sell the crib, surprise, another child. Just when you're ready to retire, surprise, more tuition. And just when you thought your plans were finalized, surprise, more layoffs, more surgery, more transfers, more treatments. Interruptions. Interruptions can stir fear, they can stir anxiety, they can steal our sleep, they can pickpocket our joy. They can cause us to question God, even turn away from God. You may be facing an interruption right now. I mean, after all, we're in the middle of a global pandemic, for crying out loud. You talk about an interruption. This time last year, most of us had never heard of COVID-19. You may be troubled and anxious, even angry. If that describes you, I can relate. It certainly described our family some recently and a few years ago at Christmas. During the Advent season, I'd spent the day preparing for and speaking at a Saturday night church service. And by the time I arrived home, it was well into the evening hours. Deanlin was waiting for me in the kitchen. I could tell by her expression that something was wrong. "Max," she said, "Jenna is pregnant." Her announcement did not match her demeanor. Deanlin should have been waving her arms, should have been hugging me. Grandparents, at last. But there was no confetti, just concern. Her eyes were tear-filled. "She's in the emergency room." Well, we raced to the hospital. Emergency rooms do not wear Christmas decorations well. A garland does not make an X-ray machine festive. Red and green bulbs cannot shed a happy glow on a gurney. And no matter the song on the intercom, the monitors beep louder than the sleigh bells ring. An ER is still an ER even at Christmas, and our daughter was in the ER. A nurse led us down the hallway to a room. Jenna was on the bed, and she tried to be stoic, and she succeeded for about 10 seconds, and then she began to cry. She had wanted to surprise the family. She wanted to make a big deal out of a Christmas pregnancy. She wanted to have a baby. But by the end of the night, we knew that wasn't likely. By the next morning, the doctor assured us it wasn't to be. It had already been a tough season for my daughter and her husband. His dad had died a month earlier. Their November was gray. It was gray with sorrow. And now December was going to be even more so. Jenna said her Christmas felt more like a hole-a-day than a holiday. Maybe yours feels the same. More tear than cheer, more yuck than Yule. Can I encourage you to cling to Jesus today? Can I encourage you to cling to Jesus always? In the ER, when your dreams are falling apart, just talk to Him. Just say, Lord, I need you. I need you now. When you're between the headstones of a cemetery, whisper, Dear Jesus, please lift me up. During the deposition, when others are grumbling beneath their breath, may you be overheard repeating a prayer. God, you're good. I need help. Encourage me, please. In the prayer journal of King David, we read this question. When all that is good falls apart, what can good people do? Isn't David's question our question? When all that is good falls apart, what can good people do? When terrorists attack, when diseases rage, when families collapse, when churches divide, when all that is good falls apart, what can good people do? What is the godly response to the unexpected mishaps and calamities of life? Curiously, King David did not answer his question with an answer. He answered his question with a declaration. He said, The Lord is in His holy temple. The Lord is on His throne in heaven. His point is unmistakable. When everything shakes, God remains unshaken. He is in His holy temple, and His plan will not be derailed. God is unaffected by our storms. He is undeterred by our problems. God holds it all together, and He will hold it together for you. Now, during tough times, everything inside of you and every voice around you says, just get out, get angry, get drunk, get high, but don't listen to the voices. You cannot face a crisis if you don't face God first. God has made a business out of turning tragedy into triumph. He did it when Joseph was in prison, when Moses was in the desert, when Daniel was in the lion's den. Most of all, He did it when Jesus was on the cross. The innocent one, our Savior, was slaughtered. Heaven's gift was murdered. Mothers wept, evil danced, and the apostles had to wonder, when all that is good falls apart, what do good people do? God answered their question with a declaration. With the rumble of the earth and the rolling of the rock, He reminded them, the Lord is in His holy temple. The Lord is on His throne in heaven. Is your Christmas shaping up to be a difficult one? More holiday than holiday? If so, remember, God is still on His throne, still in control, and He still makes princes out of prisoners, counselors out of captives, Sundays out of Fridays, and He still brings beauty out of Bethlehems. He did then for them. He does still for you. Merry Christmas.